Okay, how's it, guys? We're back here at Michael's house. How's it, Michael?
How's it, Stephen?
And we're going to see what flows today. It's been a while, but I'm looking forward to today. It's always like having a chat to you. So, welcome.
And welcome.
I'm welcoming you in your own house, but thank you for having me, and I look forward to what unfolds.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see what comes out of our mouths today.
Yeah.
So we do this absolutely unprepared, so that we just show up and set up the stuff and press record, so that we want to see what message comes through for whomever is listening. So let's see, Stephen, let's see if there's a topic that comes up for either of us. And if you have something, then please voice it.
I do. I have a topic that we discussed the last time we spoke to each other.
Okay.
It was in terms of we were talking about Vipassana and the getting into a space of equanimity and how one disassociates from that physical discomfort and the mental chatter and because there's always the question, but okay, just detach from it, but frick, how? It's like, because the pain is real, even though I can go as many times as I say at once, I can go, this is not me, this is not who I am, it's still there. And so I think you have a lot of I know you've got a lot of experience with this, and it's obviously still very fresh for me, very new, and I'm feeling these spaces, and I can get to them at some point, but staying in them is something that I'm still busy learning. So maybe we can start with that, and you can speak a bit about that, and have your perspective on it.
Thank you, Stephen. It's a topic that I love to speak about, because it's my ego also loves to speak about it. So because he immediately when you speak, I can hear my human self, my ego self saying like, "Oh, I love this topic because I do it so well."
Yeah.
So, and that is of course the part that we detach from, realizing that, okay, the one observing is not the voice in the head. The one observing is not the voice in the head that is in non-acceptance of what is busy happening. So the voice in the head, which is the character I call myself, this character I call myself is the voice in the head, and that one is the one that will be it will be fully attached to the experience of the physical body. So that one believes that I am the body, and this is my pain in my leg, or my pain in my body, or my pain in my head, or my thoughts in my mind. That's the one that attaches everything to being mine. And there's a me and there's an I. So this is explained so that you can realize that the one observing is not the same I, it's not the same one. And when the more you sit, and this is now, let me take you step by step through the process of how I got to this realization. Because we can speak about this and we can say it in words to the whole world, but only the ones that have experienced it can comprehend what is going on.
Yes.
But it's cool at least that the words are being spoken because the seeds are being planted. But I feel Vipassana is such a fantastic method of walking the path to the realization of it. So Vipassana is a method that and I'm not going to teach Vipassana because only Guru Goenka teaches Vipassana, and there are two centers now. There's one, our center in Worcester in the Cape, and then there's now another opportunities that are open for us in Durban as well, in KwaZulu-Natal. But point being, I just want to speak about my experience of Vipassana and how I walked the path of Vipassana to get to the realization of the detachment from what is busy happening. So in the beginning, when we are sitting, Vipassana first teaches us to bring awareness to the breath. Why? Because this sharpens your concentration. It sharpens your focus. And you need that sharp pinpoint focus to scan through the body so that nothing can hide from you. Now, when I say nothing can hide from you, is these sensations, the one scanning, the intention of scanning, the one observing, is not the sensation that it finds.
Yes.
So the sensation is what we experience in that moment as separation. So the sensation is the thing that experiences itself as separation. And the one observing is the eternal, is pure presence, is pure awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I am still identified with my physical body, then I am going to think that it is my pain. My perception is going to be distorted to think that it is my sensation, it is my body. Okay? Where as we just follow the instructions of Vipassana, we first sharpen the focus by really, really giving all that you've got to Anapana in the first 4 days. Every single particle of your being must focus so much. So what about the pain? The pain is just there now. The pain is in the body and it is still my pain, but I'm here to focus on the breath because that is the instruction. So as I follow this instruction to focus on the breath, there comes a point where it's like somebody switches off the radio station of this constant chatter in the mind. It's just like a boop. Whoa. It's quiet, a thought arises.
I've been there, and then you're back in the coke.
And then the thoughts start flowing in again, but at least now the thoughts enter the silence. And now at least that there's a spaciousness that you've never experienced before. And in this spaciousness, then as thoughts arise, then you are a little bit less attached to them. Because now you can realize that, okay, the thoughts, you can clearly hear every single thought. You are observing the thoughts arising. You are no longer the one thinking the thought. There's a difference. But I hear what you say, that the thoughts that start arising again, and then the motor starts going again. You know, and then that it gets a bit of momentum when you give it too much attention, instead of being with a sensation. And if the more attention you give the mind, the more the momentum is in the mind, and the more the motor runs, and the more speed it's got, the more power it's got. So you want to take your attention away from the mind, away from the thinking mind, that is in any case busy with me and my past and me and my future. That's a program. The me and my past and me and my body and me and my future. All a program. The one observing all of it, you want to connect to that one, to the pure awareness, which is pure potential. And as awareness, that is the one with the actual intelligence. And actually, they don't even want to use the word. No, we can use the word intelligence, but that is a higher and more subtle intelligence than the mind's rudimentary intelligence. Did you want to ask a question?
No. Well, now that you've brought it up, it's like, okay, so everything that you're explaining now is great, but so that's when you're talking about thoughts, and you're talking about and I know exactly what you. Well, I don't know exactly what you're going to say, but when I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. When that's all happening and you're observing the thoughts, that's great, but the sensation that is feels very real, right? And help me with this in terms of that is also a thought, right? When I am thinking, that's the thought that's coming in that's saying, this is so. And that's what I need to let go of.
Now you understand why I'm starting with thoughts.
Yes.
Because as long as you are identified with the one thinking, that's the same one that is identified with the one feeling.
So am I correct in saying that is just at a much more subtle level? So you don't realize it's a thought, but it actually is a thought.
Yes.
Is
So
that correct?
of course, because it's. I mean, everything about your whole experience is because of thought. When there is attachment, the thought is what makes you have your experience. So I'm going to go into that now. Let me just continue with the path, and then I'll speak a little bit about the program and how the program works, and how the program of thought pulls you into a perspective, and your perspective gives you your experience.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I've said it now, but we can unfold that a bit more.
I think you need to unfold it.
Yeah,
For someone out there is going to be going, what? So you speak in English?
We'll unfold that a bit more.
Yeah.
But let's first continue the journey of the Vipassana experience.
Okay.
So the more you can sit, and the sharper your mind becomes with the Vipassana, with the Anapana. In other words, the following the breath, the keeping the attention on the breath, just keeping the attention here. The sharper the mind becomes, the more your control becomes. In other words, the one choosing, the one that has the intention to put it there, because the mind is so habitual, and your unconsciousness is so habitual to be pulled into the character that is thinking about its past and its future and its body and its problems and its solutions and all of that. So that is a thinking system that exists separate of you. It's a machine. It's like an AI running. It's like an app running in your mind that has convinced you that you are the character that it has created for you. So as we now sit and we continue to disidentify from the one in the mind thinking, this then gives us power to when Vipassana starts, which is scanning the body. And I'm just saying scanning the body, but there's a deeper meaning and a deeper understanding when you go and do the course. But as we start then scanning the body, then this one scanning comes across a sensation. Now this is the explanation of the difference between attachment and detachment, which is reactive, which is attachment will be reactive, and detachment will be equanimous. So equanimity belongs to the one that is not attached to the situation. And the one that is attached to the situation, I'm going to explain attachment more clearly now, that's the one that will go into the reactive thoughts about it. And the reactive thought about it will be, this is a good craving, or this is a bad, not good craving, this is a good sensation, or this is a bad sensation. That's the automated system. That's the reactive system. I am experiencing this as either good or bad, meaning I want more of it or I want less of it. That whole thing I'm talking about there is the subconscious process. But the more you sit, the more you look, the more you see the process. That's what Vipassana gives you the opportunity to do, because it is clear seeing. You can clearly see what the program that is running is doing. And as the scanning happens, the only thing that can connect you to the attachment is the thinking mind. Because in the thinking mind, there is a character that says, it's my arm, my shoulder, my pain. I don't want it. Oh my God, this hurts. What am I going to do about this? And like, let's just move it a bit. Let's just move it a bit. That's all reactive. That all happens unconsciously. But now consciousness comes in, and here's the mind complaining about the sensation that it doesn't want. And this one that sees it says, let go. I am not this one. I am the one observing, and I accept. The one observing is in absolute acceptance of what it sees. There's no craving for it to be anything other than what it is. There's no aversion for what is. It is in absolute stillness, which is acceptance. That is the way we detach. Realizing that, okay, now this intention is scanning, the attention is then on the sensation, and then the shoulder is in the body goes, ah! And then the thoughts in the mind start to arrive, that, oh my God, my shoulder, this pain in my shoulder. And then stillness observes it, but detaches from the experience and just says, I accept, and just continue. So you stay calm, stay focused, stay still.
Okay.
And as you continue to scan with that from a place of stillness, from a place of equanimity, the moment you enter that complete acceptance for what is, no sankhara, which is a reactive program, can survive in your stillness. Because what you look at, the quality that you look with, is what feeds into it. Focus on what I said now, because that is an explanation of this whole reality. The quality that you look from is what you feed into what you look at. You look at a sensation with aversion, you feed it more aversion.
Yes, I get it.
You look at it with more craving for it to be something else, you feed more non-acceptance into the non-acceptance that there already is. You look at it with pure acceptance, it is what it is. That's what feeds into it, and then acceptance dissolves the non-acceptance.
Okay, so now I get all of this, and at some level I've experienced it. I don't think to the levels, obviously, that you've experienced it, but you have had many Vipassanas under your belt, and there's a lot of sitting that comes with it. And obviously, the more you sit, it's like somebody who stretches. The more you stretch, the more supple you're going to be, right? So now, to sit in that space of equanimity for you is something that's become very familiar for you. What would your advice be to somebody who now is sitting there, they've decided they're going to sit for an hour, but now 30 minutes in, they are at a place where they are scanning, let's just say, and they get to, let's say they've got a sensation in their shoulder, right? And the attention is focused, and it's scanning, and the shoulders getting more intense. But now what's happening is, as the scanning takes place, the attention becomes very difficult to hold because the shoulder is now screaming. Okay, so now, but we're only 30 minutes in. There has to so there's going to be a break in whatever the case is. They're not going to be able to hold that. What would you suggest from there? Hold at all costs?
Hold at all cost.
Okay.
Do not move an inch. The moment you adjust the shoulder, it means you are in aversion of what is busy happening. And the moment you adjust it, it temporarily gives you relief, but it comes back stronger. A few minutes in, it's going to come back stronger. So in the beginning, when you're doing Vipassana, there's a lot of adjustment that has to take place to build your form. But this is adjustment that the body does by itself. So when you're sitting still and there is an aversion, and then you will, if you look at it with presence, you will feel, okay, this shoulder is pulling, and it's starting to ache because my hand is in a position that causes my shoulder to hang, which is an unnatural position. So then the shoulder shifts itself into the correct position by the hand shifting itself into the correct position. And then that feels aligned. And in that alignment, you hold. No matter what comes, but that's the game. To get the position to sit in that is most comfortable for your body to sit in, and then hold that position through whatever comes.
Okay, so there's, Vipassana, it's not a holiday camp. You go in there and it's intense. And so when you're speaking of this, when you're going through, and I'm sure there must be times, you've cleared most of it, but there must be times when sankharas come back and you have to move through them. When those are happening and you're sitting through them, are you still experiencing that pain?
No, I am not.
Okay.
The body might be,
yes,
but I am not.
Okay, so let me...
That's the answer.
I'm trying
So the physical body can still have a sensation,
yes,
but the observer is so far removed from it. It's like a guy standing on the other side of the rugby field telling me that his leg hurts. Instead of me standing, me being that guy. So there is so much detachment, and it is not an aversion. I'm fully experiencing the sensation. So the consciousness is fully experiencing all the sensations, but there is zero aversion and zero craving. So then the sensations can still be in the body. Some sankharas, some deep roots can still come up, which they are. I haven't cleared all my sankharas yet. So deep roots come up, but there is such deep equanimity for the experience that there is not even a thought about it. No thought in the mind arises that my leg feels like a truck is parked in it. Because afterwards, that when I tell it to other people, that's the story that is told, because that when I look back, that is the experience that the human was having. If there is an intense sensation, but the being is just quiet. There is just silence. Silence and observation.
So for me, what helped me a lot to get into that space, and the reason I'm continue to keep asking in different ways is because a lot of the times I feel like I'm in that space, but I'm not sure if I'm in that space. And what helps me a lot, or the comparison that I put it to is being in the cold water. So when you're in the cold water and it's still cold, but you've surrendered, right? So what I do, one of the practices that I've used when I'm in like experiencing a lot of discomfort is I will go, it's just the cold water. It's just the cold water. And I allow it to be there. And then I drop, like it's almost like I feel like I drop back. And I just like almost lean into it. And so I wanted to see what your take on that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said now is equanimity. So the cold water immersions also help with the process of taking us into equanimity.
Yeah.
And that state that you've just explained, you've explained it absolutely perfectly, Stephen. So if you can apply that to your Vipassana, where you get to a point where you don't even say anything anymore. There's no more story about anything anymore. So the point is to let go of all the stories about the stuff. Because it is the character in the mind that is attached to the body, that is attached to the experience, that has the program of aversion and craving. So the more you disidentify from that character, the more quiet the mind becomes. Because everything that character then offers just burns up in the presence that there is. So that's why Anapana is also so powerful and so necessary. Because without that pure presence, then you are still too much attached to the sensations. Then Vipassana is difficult, it is challenging.
Yeah.
And something else, I love the word that you also used, I surrender. So you like kind of drop back, which is in Vipassana, I say it always, I stand back. Like I'm not the character, I stand back and I observe the character. I'm not the one thinking, I stand back and I observe the one thinking about how he's feeling about the situation. Because there's emotions and all kinds of stories, and it's attached to this story and that story and the next story. It's just so much. So many stories, unnecessarily so. So that's why Vipassana helps us to come into that space where we surrender to what is. And the thought is, it is what it is. I accept. It is what it is, I accept. And there's this, in that moment, there's also a relaxed nervous system. There's a deep relaxation, that comes in. Yeah. Because when there is attachment, you'll feel when you are attached to the one that is still experiencing the sensation, there's this, oh my God, this is so, it's like there's that feeling in the body. You know, the nervous system is like this. And then when you drop into that acceptance, the equanimity goes, then the pain might even intensify because there's no more resistance now. There's nothing holding it. And you just go, and then, okay, it is what it is. Oh my God, this is intense. So what? It is what it is.
And then it's like a pop-in sensation, and your body feels like it's realigning. And it's, I mean, the viewers out there might be thinking, what are you doing this for? You freaking nuts. But sure, man, I know, yes, when I very first met you, you spoke about this, and at that stage there was no ways I could do it, but it's changed my life, man. It's such an amazing practice, and every time I remember the first time I went there, by about day 3 or day 4, I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to do this again, I know. And then the last time I went there now, I was like, same time around about it was like maybe day 2, I was like, this is my life. And I just knew it. It's like something that I know I've done before. This is not the first time I've done it. So if you haven't experienced it, I invite you to go out and challenge yourself. It'll change your life.
Yeah, guys, just you can Google Vipassana, Vipassina, Vipassana. Google it and you'll see the center that pops up. It'll take you to dhamma.org. Dhamma.org. Cool. It was wonderful to communicate with you. And just to leave you with something, the reason why I practice Vipassana is all the spiritual things and metaphysical things and all the stuff about the spiritual path. It was all a theory in my head. It was all stuff I knew and stuff my ego still tried to apply. But when I practiced Vipassana, Vipassana popped me out of trying to fix my ego character and just dropped the whole story and helped me to come into my being. So Vipassana helps you to understand why the spiritual path exists.
Thank you, Michael. Before we go, I've been thinking about this, with the videos that I'm doing, and I don't know if it's something that you'd be open to, but I'm springing it on you now, so don't feel like there's any pressure. I know you won't. But I thought, everyone's talking about going into this new earth, and, we've all got our views and our opinions on it. And I wanted to ask you what your vision of that is. And I'll tell you the reason why. First of all, because when we speak it's something that manifests into reality. And what I was thinking is the more people that could speak it in, because when you record something, it's timeless, it's going out, and more people give the opportunity for more and more people to expand on whatever it is that they're thinking. And I just thought it would be quite a cool thing to find out what your
my vision is.
Yeah, what your
new
vision
earth.
is, because I've obviously got mine, and I'd be
you,
curious to see what yours is.
Cool, thank you. Let me speak on that. So, my perspective of the new earth, it connects a little bit to the story of Jesus Christ, where they showed me a long time ago that the system that we are in it's like there's a virus program loaded on our system. So the whole collective matrix, if we look at it now, and I'm computerizing it a little bit, but it's also, if you take it into the organic way, then it is a system that is sick. And going back to the metaphor of the computer, if there is a program that runs the collective human consciousness, there is a virus program loaded onto the consciousness. And this virus program keeps on looping the negative algorithms. Okay? And what Jesus did when he brought the Christ frequency to the planet, when he brought a nice burst of the Christ frequency to the planet, the Christ frequency, we can simply, another word of it, or another way of describing it, it is in the frequency of truth. And if you look at the virus program, it is in the falseness. So when that injection of truth came into the system, that medicine started to, over the last 2,000 years plus, to spread through the system. And we are now in another injection where there's another bunch of Christ energy, or truth energy, if you want to just leave the religion out of it. But there's another truth bomb that's hitting the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
And this truth is also in the words of Jesus, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And this information is inside people. It's inside the system. And I know we're spreading it like this. We're spreading the good news, by speaking about it, so that other people can also hear about it. But it's mostly, there's this pull, there's this awakening happening in humanity to come out of the bad dream, to come out of the negative ego algorithm, and to realize that, what the hell am I doing? This is not how life is supposed to be. And the more and more of us that are busy waking up, everyone that's waking up is contributing to helping others wake up. And I'm not saying everybody needs to become a teacher, but just the fact that you exist in an awakened state, every interaction that you're having with the program lets that awakened state flood into the program. You see? So what I see the future is that is spreading like a feldfire. That awareness and awakeness and our true Christ or God essence is now spreading through the whole program like a feldfire. And it's busy healing the system that was sick for so long. So, and this sickness is just our disconnection from the all that is, our experience of war, our experience of separation, our experience of enemy. So that whole program is busy dissolving, and we're coming into the program of unity and peace. And the program of unity and peace is full of love and respect and honorability, because it is connected back to its primary source, which is pure love and unconditional love. So that unconditional love is busy spreading through the system again.
That's beautiful. And how does that look for you? That where you've just got to now, you've had a beautiful explanation of what is going down at the moment. What does that look like for
Well, I
you?
can tell you that I am currently in that reality.
What does it look like?
And my experience of it is that there is absolute flow in my life. Things just keep on working out in a beautiful way in my life. So where I meet friends like you, honorable ones that also love themselves, that have learned how to love themselves, that are spreading that love to the world. I am surrounded by people that love themselves. And it's the love, the self-love in the God love, not the ego self-love, not the selfish love. And my life is also in such a way where wherever I go, when I interact with people, whatever their current situation is, it very quickly shifts into something friendly. So as I interact with people wherever I go, just the fact that I am so strongly in this faith. And what faith? Faith that love is the only way. I'm so grounded in this faith that wherever I interact with people, they feel that, and there is nothing in them that want to react to me in a negative way. So my world, wherever I go, feels very friendly.
That's awesome, dude. And it's so beautiful. We've become a lot closer in the last couple of months, and it's so beautiful to watch that, because what you're talking about, I've witnessed it firsthand, and I'm experiencing it now in my own life as well. And we've spoken about this, I think, on previous videos, but it leads back to the consciousness that you show up with is the consciousness that you will be met with.
Yes.
And if you play around with that and you truly observe what consciousness you're showing up with, you will see that it is directly being reflected back to you. So when you can show up, like you say, with love and this absolute faith of trust and love and integrity, it has to reflect back to you.
I've got to just remind everybody watching this about the monkey and the elephant. So we are commanding a monkey that's busy riding an elephant. And this is not my parable, I heard it somewhere from another guru, but if you can imagine that your monkey is your mind and he's steering an elephant. So this elephant is running through the bush. And then when you tell the monkey to go left, this monkey starts to steer the elephant left, but it's going to take that elephant a few more steps before he starts going left. So the reason why I'm saying this is that you've got to keep on keeping the faith.
Yes.
Because when you start shifting your frequency and you show up in a situation with pure love, but you still get met with anger or with rejection or with resistance in some form, that means that your elephant is still giving a few steps into the direction of seeds that you've planted back in the day.
Yes.
And this karma that you are busy working off, the core way of treating the situation always stays the same. So in other words, we're shifting our consciousness from a state of I treat you like you treat me. I'm shifting out of that to I treat you who I am.
Yes.
I don't treat you because of who you are. Yes. I treat you in a way because of who I am. This is the shift. This is the awakening. Whatever the situation is in my external, if I keep treating it the way that it's treating me, the whole world's going to end up blind. Because that's eye for an eye.
Yeah.
If I treat the situation with who I am, realizing I am love and kindness, then eventually, as this monkey starts to steer this elephant into love and kindness, love and kindness, love and kindness, then you start to meet the love and kindness more and more and more and more. But this is how you shift your reality. But it is of utmost importance not to lose faith or think that you're doing something wrongly or think that you're not giving it enough love. Sometimes you're still encountering those old karmas where you are treated with resistance. And that's okay. Like Jesus, for instance, when he was on the cross, he was still treated with that resistance, but look at the way that he treated it. He still stayed who he is.
Yes. I like what you say about that staying who you are, because one of the understandings that I had, it's come in a couple of times, but more so recently, is that understanding that I am love, right? And the reason why in the past I haven't felt, maybe I feel ugly or unhappy or in some sort of discomfort, the only reason is because I am not being loved, right? So there's a resistance, there's a distortion. So when you say, in spite of how somebody's going to show up, I'm going to show up as me, because not for them, in the long run, sure, but I'm showing up as me because when I show up as me, I feel good. I'm not in resistance to who I am. If I show up with love, I know inside, because it's all about inside. How do I feel inside? I feel at peace. I feel calm. I feel happy. But when I'm showing up in resistance, then that's the same thing that's happening inside.
Yes, and the play is, especially when somebody shows up in resistance, to not be pulled into that resistance, to stay in equanimity. That's why Vipassana is so powerful, because it gives you the opportunity to also daily practice coming into that non-reactive state. Realizing that the reactive state is an automated program. It is when you are unconscious, the program takes over and the algorithm runs the program of resistance, which is then the craving and aversion program. And it is an automated system. We are here to wake up and come online and take responsibility. The ability to respond instead of reactability. We're waking up from the reaction, coming into the responsibility. For saying, I choose how I feel now. In the moment that there's a thought that says, I feel like this because of you, I am in the program. Let that be a golden nugget for today. The moment that I, in my mind, believe that I feel this way because of any external circumstance, I am in the program, I'm unconscious. Consciousness says I take full responsibility for how I feel.
And how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel loved? Do you want to feel kindness? Whatever it is.
Whatever I give myself
is
how I feel. And also why I say whatever I give myself is so that I don't put any expectation on you to give me anything. Anything. You must be you. We will resonate or we won't resonate. But I'm not here to mold or shape you. I'm here to mold and shape me. You must do you.
But there's power in that, because if that's the case, then you don't have to change anybody. You only have to change yourself.
Yeah, but that's the only one that you can change.
Exactly. But so then the whole but I've got to get it. You don't. It's like, okay, how can I change myself? Because trust me, it's hard enough to do that. Let alone try to do it to somebody else.
Good point, Stephen. Good point.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel we're good for today.
Yes,
You're
Michael,
good?
thank you, man. Thank you for sharing your view on that. I really appreciate it. And as I say, it's beautiful to watch. I witness it whenever I'm around you. So, and it's infectious, you know. And that's also, just before we cut off, is the infectiousness of it, which you spoke about, like a wildfire. When you are being like that, it changes other people. So thank you for everything that you are.
And you, Stephen. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for also being the example.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Have a lekker day, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everybody.